GM folks, GM, welcome to the second edition of Winners Under Spotlight. Now, for those who are new here or weren't able to join our previous edition, let me help you with some context. We recently organized a 60 days of code program with focus on Polkadot. For those who are new to Polkadot, it's a layer zero interoperability protocol designed for layer one blockchains called parachains. Now, Polkadot is a project which we've been following for some time now, and our fascination with Polkadot dates back to 2019. And because of the exciting developments we were seeing on the Polkadot front, we decided to reach out to the foundation and eventually teamed up with them to create a program for developers and builders in our community. With we were thrilled to have around 250 participants and an impressive 100 of them successfully completing the intense 60-day challenge. The result, we saw around 23 amazing projects built and got a chance to pitch on the demo day, with four teams emerging as winners who are young but really promising. With that said, today we have two of these winning teams who've made some significant waves during the boot camp and since then have marched on to an exciting world of Web3. Let me welcome Abhishek from Metagraph and Aryan and Raghav from Decentra classes. Hey guys, how are you doing?
GM, hi.
Hello, hi Mridul.
GM.
Great.
Hey, so how has been the whole Polkadot 60 day of code experience for you guys? I mean, what's been happening after since then? Maybe Abhishek, you want to start? Okay,
Hey,
Aryan.
yeah.
Okay, yeah, Abhishek, we
So I
can hear
think,
you.
yeah, you can. Okay, awesome. So basically, the whole session was like quite great, especially like few of them, like they helped us understand a lot things around Polka, as well as the whole session like was something like for a person like me who is just kind of beginner. It's like good as well as a good entry point as well for us. So that is something which was very helpful, and I think such sessions should definitely be more conducted to not just help out some people to enter into Polka, but as well as to understand more around the blockchain as well. Because blockchain is all about like how others can also coexist together in a better and uh, growth focused way, right? Having decentralized as well as giving out the major value everyone sees.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Uh, uh, Aryan and Raghav, how was it for you? I mean, what's been
Yes.
the scene after the boot camp?
Yeah. So actually, about Polkadot, I'm pretty new to Polkadot actually. Before the bootcamp, I didn't know much. Not I know. I didn't just know the coin dot. I don't know more than I know what is Polkadot itself. So it was just kind of a challenge. Okay, let's see. कुछ भी होगा. They will do the bootcamp. Just a bootcamp. What's going to lose? That's how we start. Me and I were like, okay, we have to start. We have to learn something. That's the bootcamp. But after that, we got hooked up. It went pretty much good. I didn't expect it to go that better. I thought, okay, maybe I'll skip it in the middle, or maybe if I wasn't lost. That's something I loved about bootcamp. Then after the bootcamp, you see, we are hooked up on Web3 more. We are building. We are already building our own product alongside. We are talking to much
Right.
more other Web3 founders, Web3 protocols. I was it into the Web3 space so much after since what I've been since the bootcamp. So after like maybe from this July month, no, I've been too much into. Before that, I was only part of it. I was had college and I had to Web2 work. So now we are totally into Web3 fully. So it
That's
worked out good.
interesting. Was the bootcamp your entry point into the space of Web3 or blockchain in general, or you've been in the space for a while?
Okay, so for let me give you a introduction. So normally, so I have been a Web2 developer from past 3 years. So I mean, right now my college fourth year. So when my college first year started, right, I was Web2 developer. I started Web2 developer with the same HTML, CSS. You know, right? How you go to other websites, they'll be like, I earn these many lakhs for full stack development. That's how I got that Okay, I want to start web development. So I went college first year. I guess I was pretty young. Initially, from my classmates, only one or two people with me started. So we used to do YouTube courses and all those other free learning platforms. We went and we learned from that. That's what started my web two. Within 1 year, I got hooked up in my first internship. So just my many people say, paid. You don't get first paid internship. I got my internship first one paid. So that's something which just hiked my excitement. Okay, I have to keep this doing. So that's my first year was the learning part. The second, third year was the development part. So second year, third year, I has done internship, multiple projects, multiple freelancing projects, multiple open source contributions. Then the Web3 space I got into pretty much last year. So if I say it will be like around 2022, maybe March month. That's so slowly. I didn't know before that anything about Web3. I just know there's a hype about it. I thought, okay, it's just crazy to go into new stuff because obviously you're skeptical to start something new. So that same skeptical, I had that in me. I was, okay, should I start? Should I go to normal, stick to my Web 2 or should I go to Web 3? But okay, I came out of it. I pretty much proud of it that I took the step. That's why I was being, so I started with, obviously, I started with EVM based. Same I did because the resources are more that time, people are bullish about the EVM based. So that's how I started Solidity, EVM based. Then I got to have more blockchain other than EVM based too. That's why I go with other blockchains. We have many other names, Polkadot one of it. So that's how I go, okay, there's so many things in the space, not just EVM based. Then they slowly transfer my into the core into Web3. That's me.
That's it. That's pretty interesting. Like first year, second year of college, getting an internship and then transitioning and exploring the space of Web3. It's pretty exciting to say so. Abhishek, how did you get into Web3 or blockchain in general? How was it for you?
I think that was not something special, but it was something most of the people how they entered into this space. Started with like Bitcoin, heard about it, uh, tried lot of altcoins which were coming up, their airdrops, taking part into them, and also started mining on the PC. So that was like the entry point. But though that may be the entry point, but my major start in Web3 space, it happened like almost 2.5 years ago when I was working with like couple of companies as a tech consultant, and that's where I like realized how potential this tech can be. And
So,
from there, yeah, thereafter, like it's been like 2.5 years and still going, and in this space working for long.
so right from airdrop hunting to figuring out, okay, there's an actual enterprise use case or user use case available in the market, and then jumping on to the Web3 train. That's interesting, man. Aryan, how was it for you?
Yeah, yeah. So, thanks to Geo for digitalization of whole India. And I searched the term how to make money online and these things. So get into crypto. Bitcoin was that time 2 lakhs rupees. So exploring lot of things, earning with faucet and investing in projects. And after that, the whole in that time in class 8. So after that, I have to break with the ITJE. Then college started, and the second year hype is going on. Web3 hype is, so don't need to get into the Web3 hype and started with the Abhishek venture AI Verse. It's my first event. So it was amazing and with going with the flow and right now building decenter classes. So this was the all about my journey. Yeah.
That's pretty interesting. You guys already met, you worked with Abhishek in past and then came back to this boot camp. But I mean, boot camp, like 60 days marathon seems quite exhausting, right? Because you're learning and then you're building something at the same time. I would love to hear what was it like for you? Was it fun, exciting? All stars, or was it like there were some low times, or it was it exhausting at times? Aryan?
Yeah. So bootcamp was like very head start for us because we started with the idea and we whole the prototype is built within the whole bootcamp as you have seen in the win demo day. Yeah. So like it's tiring also, but I have to attend lessons and managing whole the execution part as well. So Raghav has built all the things, and I am managing whole the ideation phase. And yeah, it's like kind of hectic as well, but you get to learn a lot, like with the whole all over execution. Like yeah.
So Raghav must be the one who is attending all the sessions and not missing any one of it, so that things are built on time. Is that correct, Raghav?
So I was supposed to attend every sessions, but I find me guilty. I didn't me one or two sessions I miss here and there because obviously it's 60 days. No, you tend to happen. You may okay. One day your friends will take you and go to some party. You're like no, you have to leave that work someday. But mostly I was hooked up to everything. Just like it was pretty much like the 60 days. No, it was properly. I think it was planned before so that I didn't feel it overwhelming because you have this new feeling right when you're learning something. You're like, yeah, this is so big. Why am this? Why I'm running my own blockchain, my own validator. What is this thing? What is it? Why is it saying this word? So, but I think the 60 days is a long span. You can take it all in. So it is much better if you do it in 30 days. No, how do you do 30 days code? This 60 days is much better for it because I got easily to map it out. So it wasn't that much. You say tenseful or something. It wasn't like that. But yeah, learning is obviously tenseful, stressing.
Yeah, true. And that's also one of the reasons why we wanted to do like a 60-day challenge, because it gives you a lot of room with learning, getting deeper into the topics, as well as then kind of find time to basically contemplate and think about how you want
Exactly.
to direct your product in a way that it reaches the right it is made for the right use case and the right persona that you're targeting for.
Exactly.
uh, Abhishek, how was it for you? Exciting, coming from the enterprise background, and then I'm guessing you must have done a couple of boot camps in past, or you have not. How was your experience?
Actually, this was like my first boot camp after a long years. So I wasn't into like tech, though I was into like tech consulting, but not totally into coding. So this was something like a start and kind of a restart for me because I was into C sharp, but Solidity like Rust, this was something new for me. And so basically, yeah, little bit of bottleneck I did face, like, but it was also a rewind for me, like how things we can build contracts, how couple of things we learned about it. So unlike like from last 2 years where I was just understanding things, this was something I was implementing, and this was something like exciting as well because you're not just you're not just learning something, but also when you make something from your hand, code it out. This is something important, and that's where even my co-founder like Gaurav, he also helped me out. So that was kind of a relax for me because as a starter, uh, restarter, so you need little bit of help, and that's where Gaurav also helped me out. So it
It
was
sounds
on.
interesting.
Yeah.
So, Abhishek, because you were starting up, this was like a first boot camp. There were a lot of sessions. How were you able to manage your time? Like learning sessions and then coding. How was your day like during the boot camp?
Usually, like we set up our schedules. Like that is one of the best options. Since I knew like this is 60-day schedule, so sometimes Gaurav used to join up, sometimes I used to join up, but we do used to like make some pointers, which is important to take follow up, like what is the main things around it, right? And that's where we also got introduced to a couple of different chains, how things work on them, and that was like something. See, you can never attend all sessions. There is something, right? So even with my case yesterday, the network was poor, so like we don't know. And that's the like having someone with you in your back, that is important. And I think Aryan, and others, they would also agree with this, right? Because building something, it's a it's thing of a teamwork in place of just uh, self, right?
True,
Yeah,
true.
definitely. Yeah. Yeah.
Aryan and Raghav, there were a lot of sessions, but which was your favorite one? Would love to know.
Okay, so there were like so many sessions. I think initially it was only about the blockchain itself. The initially what blockchain is, that I had that basic knowledge. So well, I think first 2 weeks was just normal for me. I didn't have much of learning curve for that. My favorite session was, I guess, week 5 it was. I don't know which week exactly. We had to like run our own blockchain, run the blockchain locally. How the blockchain itself works, that was new to me. So rather than building on something on blockchain, smart contracts and how to build, I know how what blockchain, but how I run myself in my own computer. That was fun part for me. So that 1 or 2 weeks, I was hooked up completely. I was completing my laptop. Okay, I was installing all the package. Or I just going along how they do it. I do in my laptop and it's working or not. Yeah, it's actually coming out the same how it's supposed to be. So that was fun part in it. That was my
Yeah,
favorite.
totally get it. That sweet feeling of okay, things working on first hand and then
Exactly.
exactly how you imagine. It's pretty interesting. Abhishek, what was your favorite session from the bootcamp?
So basically, it was like finance, DeFi, and NFTs. So actually, there is also a reason why these two were like my favorite sessions. Because with AIverse, like before AIverse, when we were planning something out, like what we wanted to build in Web3, that was more of a fintech app for transactions, wallet to wallet payments. And then we thought, like, no, this is not something we have some experience with. And so we moved with AIverse. And that's how, we got into this space. These two sessions were like somehow related to what we are doing. And that is one of the reasons these two sessions were like quite important to me. And it was like exciting to understand how on different chains, different para chains of Polka, how things work differently and which chains would be like the best for us.
I think we lost you there for a second, Abhishek. I think your voice just the volume went just down.
Is it
But
better?
we'll come back to you. I'll probably go back to Aryan and Raghav for a bit.
Yeah.
So
So I like to share my favorite sessions. So there was
uh,
many sessions, but I like the two of them. So first name is Nam Fam, if I'm not correct name. So sorry for that. So he's senior developer at Sub Wallet. So his session is simplified UI UX. So if you go with the decentral classes, so we try to like keep the UI UX very user friendly. So because we are targeting whole Web 2 users, because we are trying to bridge that gap, Web 2 and Web 3. So we're trying to that. After that, like second is Dipans S. So Polka Dex. Sorry. So the session was like ideations to whole prototype, and so I like the whole product development and product management thing. So it's very interesting and got many insights with the Polkadot as well as Polkadex. So how the products can be built with the whole product side. So, like these two are like my favorite. Yeah.
that's interesting. And I'm guessing there are a lot of competitors of yours. So maybe you can probably share more on how are you going to find a place for your product in the market. In a sense, like there are Web 2 players, there are Web 3 players who are trying to onboard the next billion users and trying to help them learn the area of Web3. Maybe Raghav, you can share more on that.
Okay, so how we are planning to do it? So, like obviously, normal. Anyone asks me, how to initially bring in the next wave of people into Web 3. Simple example is create courses, teach them. So, any biggest, easiest way of mass adoption is teaching them. That's what we are working with. Obviously, we have so many competitors. Doesn't mean we cannot work. We also have. It's good to have healthy competitors. People are teaching. That's the same motive. We have same goal to teach people. Okay, but but more than that, what we are trying to add more to our features. We are going to add a mentorship platform, own platform. So to try. So that's our current phase. If you see our timeline, right? Within this month we are trying to add a mentor. So how TopMate, how add a post, how other platform, right? They bring you can go and talk to other mentors. What we're doing same we're going to try to do is we'll bring on all the like verified big mentors, people big name in the society. We'll bring them into a platform. We'll keep a one-on-one session or group session and through our platform. So that
Got it.
will highly engage people into because people want to talk how we are talking. I know I got learned something from you, you got learned something from me. The same we have to make it as a bigger objective. Then I can bring in maybe Sandeep Naiwal. Maybe he can come, he can do one session. That one session could actually not just, if I'm bringing 100%, I should benefit 10 people. That 20 people is my target. They should learn that thingy, they should get hooked up to it, and they should learn it. That's the mentorship platform we're trying to do. At the same time, we're trying to build a more interesting part of in our own platform itself. We're trying to build the learn to earn model. We're trying to build a course marketplace. So something is like you can come in, you can like buy and resell your course based on the values, based on the market, how it is. So something more interactive with, and more bounties. So bounty is something you have seen like Solana, how they have bounty section. Like that, we want to bring it we have to bring it make it a, how do you say, mainstream. Bounty is not something you know in Web 2. So how to common it, people say, okay, what is normal? For if you see someone bounty with bounties, okay, they don't know what bounty is in Web 2. You have to make it generalize it, because that is something people are working, they should be awarded for something. So that's why we're trying to be, we're trying to be an incentivized layer in our own application, ecosystem, so that when people come in, they do a course, or they apply for a bounty, apply for a job itself in a platform, they should get rewarded.
Got it.
that's
So
that's
like
something you're planning to map it out, you're working on it. So surely it will come out in the future. We are going step by step, it will come out.
makes sense, makes sense. So bringing in bounties, bringing in incentivization for the users to learn, and bringing in mentors, that is something new that I've heard. Not so common in the Web3 space, because we see a lot of these Twitter spaces or X spaces, to say so, but not like any mentor coming in directly teaching you XYZ course from start to
Right.
end. That's pretty interesting, and I would definitely love to see someone big in the Web3 ecosystem teaching very specific topics.
Exactly.
That's an interesting route you're taking. Abhishek, I just wanted to like quickly check on you. Like you are building SDKs for products in XR, AR, VR, and the whole meta thing, right? So how and how are you planning to basically push it in the Web3 ecosystem? Because there've been a lot of conversation talks, a lot of new headsets coming in from Facebook as well as Apple recently with Vision Pro. What are you thinking of how this whole Web3 platform will club with the existing ecosystem?
That is also one of the most asked questions as well. Because after the meta trend being down, this is a major concern for a lot of people, right? And what I feel is that headsets are going to evolve. Like few weeks back, Meta launched another headset, which is like 10x much more lighter than their Quest version. So I think
Right.
in next 5 to 4 years, things are becoming lighter. We'll be having much lighter hardware as well as headset for configuration, and especially that was one of the things which will take the evolution. How we evolved from phones which were like brick to phones which we just now have a screen, and now this will also be disappearing. We'll hardly have just the glasses through which we see as well as we interact with the digital world. And that's what I think what is going to happen next. And with Metacraft, what we are trying to do is improve how people are experiencing content, not just but virtually. With time, I see like Metacraft, we as a team, as a uh, startup, our focus is definitely this is something we may have a one mission to immersify content on web, but how we are going to do that is something pivotal, right? From
Mhm.
industries to industries, how technology evolves, and how we evolve as a person as well with this mission. So with Web3 world, how it interacts, basically Metacraft enable these creators to build anything on web and launch it as NFTs, and that bring the freedom for these people. In place of going with a more Web2 model like a marketplace, which is not going to be beneficial for these creators, we took a more Web3 model so that people can just launch an NFT, give a small gas fee, and have the freedom, have the ownership to their most of the sales, most of the profits which they are making. And this is how Metacraft does it.
So that's interesting because when we see the existing players like this Unity, this Blender, then there's a lot of different folks in this space who have their own entities and models, and they go out on sale. Sometimes the right value is not received by the creators themselves. So I can totally relate to on how you're trying to basically create like a Web3 version of a marketplace where people can just come and create content as well as provide assets to the whole ecosystem in general via NFTs. Pretty interesting to say so. But I coming back to the Polkadot side of things, I mean there are a lot of para chains, I believe, right? So is there any specific para chain um, or project that you're planning to work with or collaborate with in coming future, Abhishek?
Yeah, there is. I think it's Moonbeam. Like even now, we have integrated to Moonbeam so that we can work on this pretty well. Specifically, we have like we wanted to choose something between Aster and Moonbeam, but Aster being like a more gaming focused, but our necessity was NFTs, and that's where Moonbeam came in.
So you mentioned your focus is on NFTs and gaming, right?
Yeah, and that is one of the reasons we chose Moonbeam for it.
Got it. Got it. Moonbeam. Aryan, any parachains that you've interacted with, uh, or planning to collaborate with any one of them?
Yeah, yeah. We explored all the Polkadot ecosystem. They have many parachains and yeah, amazing product. So we also like to go with the Moonbeam and like thought of so better to Raghav say more.
Think Raghav.
Yes, so our parachain itself, we didn't explore that part of much. We are still building on, we are focusing on building a product itself from start initially. Then we are going to scale when the scalability concept lie within ahead of us, right? We'll start with the parachain concept. We are thinking of Astra, we have Moonbeam, we have still many more parachains yet to come. We can build our own. We are testing out much. It's most testing phase. We just plug and play anything we want.
Right. I think Aster I guess Aster and Sony recently collaborated as well in their recent announcement. So that is also something you guys can probably look at. But yeah, coming back to the bootcamp, I would love to know like uh, although it was rigorous, it was like a lot of work done, a lot of products were built. How strongly or how strongly, yeah, you want to recommend a boot camp to any of your friends or family members to if they want to explore a Web3 or jump on the Web3 train. Raghav?
Yeah. How badly I recommend it will be like really badly. So because best way to learn is by doing. That's how I learn. That's how I know my learning curve is from Web two. Have been like I've been in the tutorial loop. I'll just keep on doing that. I'll go to YouTube. I just watch video. I'll get a good feeling. Okay, I watched a video. I've done something productive, but that isn't really productive. You just watch video. Day after tomorrow, I'll forget. Okay, why did you use that CSS that particular place? How to center a div again? I'll go back to the same place. So after like really long of kicks, I got to know okay, I have to do it rather than just watching the video. So coming to bootcamp, it's really useful because you're doing it alone. So when person is teaching you, you're just in your laptop, you're sitting, you're hitting keys somewhere. That's how I know how to set up blockchain right now because I attended session, I did it myself. Okay, so that's the major reason when people have to do a bootcamp rather than courses. Yeah, courses really interactive courses is usually go to for you, but bootcamp makes it more accessible. You have a person one to one. You can just okay, I can go to my forums. I go to my quiz. I go to my friends also. There are people in Discord. I go like, okay, man, I didn't understand this concept. Why did he say it this way and not this way? Why is it wrong at something, it arises question. Sometimes even you don't have questions, others have something, you'll ignite an ignition, like, okay, yeah, spark, like, okay, it really makes sense what that person is saying, why I didn't think of it. So that whole ecosystem which bootcamp provides, so that's really useful. That's why I say you have to obviously go to a bootcamp first thing in hand. Take time, it won't take you that much time. Usually it was 60 days for saying it 60 days, but per day only 1 or 2 hours. I just went. I had college also, I had my other work also, but it was manageable. So it's for everyone.
Right, right. And I totally believe
And I
like
like to add one more point. Like the whole
Mhm.
forum and Q&A section is like amazing because when we going with our doubts, so we find all the query there and all the answers written there. So we have very like we saved the time there. So
Yeah,
like amazing resource as well there.
totally.
That's good to hear, man. And I think the ecosystem in general gives you a lot of you make a lot of new friends, you make a lot of new you I mean I've seen people find their co-founders, founders, technical teammates, a lot of different folks come together and I feel this is like a very good environment that we try to create in a sense that if you are missing someone in your team or are looking to build something new and people believe in your vision of what a product is, that's exactly where
Correct.
boot camps fit in pretty well. Uh, Abhishek, how strongly would you recommend a boot camp to anyone?
I think I will definitely recommend bootcamp for anyone who is starting his career into Web3 specifically. No, also want to learn faster, because it's not something like you are reading something which where you you get into your comfort zone. You know that you have like 60 days, 70 days, or the number of days, and that's where you push yourself. And this is where the magic happens, that you know that you may haven't learned anything in past like coding or all, but you know that you have to do better, compete with others in the boot camp, and that's where thing works on.
Totally agree with you, Abhishek. I mean, uh, when this, I mean, I've been in this space and I like when time's ticking and the more I learn in that limited amount of time, I feel I perform really well in that time as well. And that's what we try to basically create an environment in a sense that, okay, let's figure out are these developers or are these builders able to push code while learning and then creating their own product in a sense and bring something magical in the space. But yeah, this was really interesting. Thank you for the participation, Abhishek, Raghav, and Aryan, and thank you for taking out the time today.
Loved it, man.
Yeah, thanks, Midul, for inviting us and sharing our whole project. And yeah,
This Blockchain India initiative
Great.
whole has worked out so good for us.
That's great to hear. Thank you for your vote of confidence as well. I'll be really looking forward to both of your projects. Like looking forward to see you everywhere in the ecosystem and kind of see a lot of user base and traction coming over your end. So best of luck for that.
Totally.
Lastly, I, on behalf of Blockchain India team, would also like to thank Polkadot for their support and everyone from the Polkadot Foundation, Parity, and the entire ecosystem. It's because of them that we were able to conduct this boot camp. And thank you again for joining and please take care. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
bye bye.